I miss having that extra body heat in here. Dan's like,
Me
it's just
too,
like a
yeah.
cold computer.
Yeah, he always put his little his leg on mine.
He'd always touch my foot, and then you did it, and it was weird.
Yeah. His thigh was on
You're
my...
not there yet.
His thyroid.
On my glutathione. Okay, so for episode 26, I just want to know how's everybody feeling today.
I feel great.
I'll answer first. I'm feeling great, but my little kiddos have sniffly noses, and I'm kind of like, rest, vitamin C, eat your veggies,
and your oysters.
And your oysters.
Yep.
B12.
A lot of vitamin B12
vitamins.
and omega-3 fatty acids. But I hope you, Tom and Dan, my co-hosts, and everybody out there listening, is not under the weather today.
Oh.
Our little thing.
Oh.
My kids hum that all the time.
Oh, of course they do.
They
Because
love it.
they are loyal followers.
Avid listeners.
So, anyways, for episode 26, I'd like to start with an apology to everyone.
Accepted.
Yeah, thank you. I've been waiting for this. Almost every time I see you, I'm hoping for an apology.
I haven't even gotten to it yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
just when I see you, just apologize in advance.
Your fist clenches up and you're like, if he doesn't say sorry today.
I'm sorry. This is good.
I texted the boys, as I call them, with a Z, the boys.
The island
That's
boys.
us, Tom. We're the boys.
Yep, BOIZ, boys. And I texted him. I said, "Hey, next session, let's write some notes
Actually
down.
think about it.
Sure,
Let's put some forethought into this.
And I gave them scripts. So now you can read your line,
I love you, Trav.
and then you can read your line.
Have you been working out?
Very good. Okay. But Dan, take that again, and I want a little more, kind of like
Make it
like
real.
in awe. Yeah.
Make it sound
Yeah.
real.
Don't say the words.
wow.
Feel them. And go.
Oh boy, Travis. My, what big arms you have.
All right, let's take a soft 5 and be back, and you can try again. Anyways, so no,
dazzling.
I didn't prepare anything for this, and normally we're just off the cuff. Okay,
Normally,
we're just
yeah.
kind of looking and feeling it out and
You
scatting
notice that
and
ever since
jazzing.
Travis got off the cuff right, that he uses that as his main.
That's his go-to.
That's like
At
the
least
only
once
one
in
he
every
uses.
conversation I say it.
That's like one of my pet peeves.
All right.
So
Trav, take it away. The world is your oyster.
Yeah, open that clam up and suck
maybe
it down.
I'll get lucky. Okay, so here in Tuolumne in the Northern California region, actually center
The West Coast.
Yeah, the West Coast, all of it. I don't know, wherever you're at in the U.S., maybe across the world, weather's been kind of funky, and it's cold. It's definitely cold, and it's very cold in this shed. And so a lot of times when it is cold and you feel some extra mucus sliding down your nostrils there.
We're not talking about
Like a little
oysters.
oyster.
No, we're not talking about oysters. No, this is you're not feeling great. You're sick, and some
Clammy.
people clammy. Maybe your forehead, maybe your palms of your hands are clammy.
Or cold, like a turkey.
That's right. A dead turkey.
Yeah.
And some people say, "Are you feeling under the weather?"
Mm-hmm. And they always go, under the weather.
Yeah, and they're from that same little fishing village that Joffrey
Reginald's
is
from?
from.
Joffrey, right.
Little callback there for you avid listeners. So under the weather. And so this got, me thinking as I'm kind of telling my little baby girls, like, you need to rest, you need to feel better, so that you're not under the weather.
You got to get over the weather.
That's right. You got to get above the clouds.
On top of the weather.
So as I was thinking about this idiom, I'd say it's an idiom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a lock.
A few things came to mind. Nothing concrete, nothing specific and detailed. I know that our
Thought
listeners,
out.
I know that our listeners usually look to me for the kind of educated, thoughtful responses.
Right.
And I know that that's what you've come to expect. And,
Sure.
you know.
So
and
you're apologizing.
Exactly.
I gotcha.
But a few things that I think of is under the weather is kind of like, okay, all of us land-dwelling creatures are under the clouds and subject to whatever's kind of happening up in the sky. But when you supersede that, when you go, you may be in a plane or a hot air balloon or a spaceship.
There it is.
But
rocket.
Sure. You're above the clouds, and just I get that visual of like stormy, hazy, foggy, and then you just break
above
through, and above is just this blanket of cotton
You're on
candy.
cloud 9.
That's right.
Or past it.
Sure. Yeah, and the sun's shining.
I've been there.
And it's kind of hitting those floating, glistening ice, water, air crystals, and it's just beautiful.
Wow.
And you're still feeling sick. On the plane, you could be. And you don't understand why you're not cured. Because it's so
I'm
beautiful.
still under the weather. No, you're not.
You
We're
can never
over
fly. I think the point of this, Travis, you can never fly high enough to get away from your troubles.
Or you fly too close to the sun.
That's right. You don't want to be walking on sunshine.
My gosh.
Although that's a saying that if you're feeling good, you would say that.
Nicely done, Tom.
Thank you.
And then the next idea, as you say, they're called, Dan, idea?
Brain thoughts.
Yep, good. Brain speak.
Moments.
So is like a cartoon strip of like a cloud that's only in one place, be it Calvin and Hobbes or Peanuts or some other famous strip. Sure. Yeah. Winnie the Pooh, whatever.
He's always got a cloud over his...
Yeah, there's the one cloud that's only affecting someone, and
it's
the
raining
rain
on his parade.
Raining on his parade, little lightning flash, but everyone else, they're okay, except that one person. So he's under the weather, and that's like...
I'm just a little black rain cloud. That's a Winnie the Pooh song.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The honey pot. Yeah, good. Yep.
Okay.
Winnie the Pooh is no longer under trademark, so we're able to do
No, it's
that.
Public domain, so if we wanted to do something, then
we did
better
something.
Jump on it. Okay, so that's kind of what I have.
Right.
That's good, Trav.
Maybe something else will kick in, but I'd love to kind of offer that up, as they say.
Yeah, I'd love to see why they chose that part of the weather to be the saying when you're feeling bad, because the weather is sunshine too.
That's right. Whether or not you feel like it.
The weather is anything that's going on in our atmosphere.
Sure. Good.
Sure. There's always weather.
There's weather no matter what. And some
like you don't look outside and go, it looks like there's weather out there.
Right.
There's good weather and there's bad weather.
Exactly.
There's always weather.
There's always
whether
weather.
Or not the weather is nice for you, and you're going to get wetter in the weather, or you're going to get drier in the weather. Or
is it wet weather or warm
weather? Is
And our goal always is
wear
to try
in the weather.
We always want to try to weather the weather.
Weather the storm.
Right.
Do you think weather is better, or do you like the warmer weather, or does it matter whether your weather's wetter? Or
I'm more of a warm guy. If I had to be under the weather, I'd rather be under sunshine.
I think if I had to
you'd
be
rather be, let's say, I don't know, hypothetically, in Costa Rica.
Oh my gosh!
On a beach where it's 85 and the water temperature is 83, 82.
I think in wet weather I'd wear a sweater, but in warm weather I'd wear a Speedo.
Okay.
Oh. And I think in warm weather, I'd wear it better, because whether your wetter weather is better, my wet sweater is always redder.
I think you'd wear a Speedo because you're a weirdo. So we're trying to figure out why under the weather just means a bad thing. Because they always say, "Oh, the weather's coming in," and it usually means it's not like the sun's rising.
I've never heard that. The weather is coming in.
Yeah, look at this weather front.
Look at this weather moving in. You look at that weather coming in at us. It's always clouds. It's something you can see.
Okay.
It's something you can see. So it's not like, look at the sun's rising. Look at that weather coming in.
Yeah.
That's true. It
always has to be something that's a shift. But if you're always, because I think maybe the majority of time the skies would be clear in a year, maybe. Probably
in the world,
72, 72,
Any
73.
Meteorologists out there want to chime in?
I'd say
it's 62%.
Hey guys, this is Fort Lauderdale, and it's balmy 60 degrees here, and the waves are crashing. Back
Brock,
to you.
You got a real job.
Huh?
Good
what?
Boy.
Brock's a weatherman now?
Brock was doing
he called in. He's in Fort Lauderdale. Yep, he's having a great time.
I think the norm.
Great day for surf.
I think the norm is
that's the status quo.
Is sunshine.
Sure.
Right.
And roses.
The sun wins mostly.
Yeah, the sun always overpowers the clouds.
Eventually.
In the end.
Because it's higher and it's
Yeah, it's a big ball of fire.
True.
So, okay, under the weather.
So, what did you say? So
it's something that's different than the norm. And most people are healthy all the time.
Okay.
In your whole life, you're healthier more than you're sick, hopefully.
So that you know of.
That you know of, right. Yeah. You could have been sick your whole life, and then...
We're all sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a shift of... instead of seeing sun all the time, the weather is the change, the rain, the snow, the clouds, the lightning. Those are those are not all the time. Those aren't 24/7. Like the sun's always out there. So blue skies.
So when it comes in, we're under it. So it's something bad,
and it's a negative thing.
Adverse. Okay.
I think there is an association with like cold and rainy and wet with sick.
Yeah,
that's that people are indoors more. They're cramped inside. That's when the sickness, the coughing spreads. Seasonal allergies and the seasonal flu and all that. It's always there's more winter sickness.
Yeah,
and so I'm tracking. I mean, I would.
I mean, where does the word cold come from?
Right.
Like you caught a cold. You never catch a warm. You know.
Right.
Or it's always a hot.
Unless you have heat stroke.
That's true.
Good. Did you catch? I don't know if you
catch
that.
I don't know.
It's Fort Lauderdale, and please keep hydrated and prevent heat stroke.
Heat stroke.
Thank you, Brock.
Yeah. Thanks, Brock, for just repeating what you just said, Travis. He's quite the echo machine, isn't he?
Yeah, echo chamber, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have any other weather permitting? I'd like us to move forward and maybe make a motion to look it up.
Why don't you help us out, Dan? Then
is it not in your book?
Huh?
It's not in that one either.
A lot of weather, but weather right here.
There's other weather ones.
Yeah, under the weather. Perfect.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. So
but we gotta at least go origin.
So yeah.
Where have you heard it? Come on, let's get some.
Let's
get some raindrops out of this cloud.
Right.
Squeeze it.
I'm not gonna throw you guys under the bus, but I did start this with in context.
Your kids are sick.
It's in reference to other. Yeah, my kids are sick. My kids are feeling under the weather. Johnny didn't come to school because he's under the weather. Blah 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 blah. Under the weather, and I'm like, you know what? I don't care. Show up. Right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
That's what you said to Juniper.
And you're like, we're all under the weather.
Yeah, we're all under the weather. So why are you special? No, I'm kidding.
Right.
No, I didn't say that to my daughter. Are you
but
kidding
your
me?
students, you should.
But Johnny, I said that too.
Yeah.
No, but it's in reference to somebody not feeling well, and I think my answer came up. I started with a question, like why we're all under it, you know, and then I thought of the aviation, and then the
so
comic
it's gotta
strip,
be
but
post-flight. So we're talking late 18, early 1900s would be origin if you're going with the first time in human history. Well, I guess if you climb a mountain, you can sometimes see over the weather.
Sure. If you summit,
like I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Sometimes when you drive from like Tuolumne down into the valley, you're above the weather, and then you hit that fog bank.
Totally.
And all of a sudden you enter like the weather. So maybe it's older. Maybe some shepherds up on a hill watching their flocks by night saw above the weather. They could see the stars, and they were like, we feel great. And then you get down there and it's kind of wet and clammy and cloudy, and you just don't feel as good. It's hard to see. I did have a thought of maybe like,
are you shepherding sheep over there? That's very specific.
What? No, I'm shucking shellfish. What did you say?
Oh, sorry. Your recollections of sheep was
under the weather, under the covers. Maybe something like he's in bed. He's under the covers. Maybe
under the cover of night.
Under a connection to the weather, like a cloud rolling in, like a blanket enveloping,
tucking him into
the
his
night,
little,
and just kind of
his
little Jack Frost at the window.
Okay. Is this another?
We're gonna have to weather the storm.
Sure, that's another one.
Why would you say weather and storm?
Right.
That's like that just doesn't. Anyway.
Hey,
we're gonna have to weather the weather.
Before we get into this origin, guys, I just want everyone to know, us and extended our audience, that the English language just holds so many mysteries for us. So many different ways it can be used. And
it's a tapestry, a puzzle piece.
Yeah, mystery, exactly.
Thriller.
Yeah. A titillating tapestry of token treasures.
Twists and turns.
Yep, exactly.
Timeless tales. Tales
Tom,
as
anything?
Old as time.
Tom talks
as old as rhyme.
Timothy's Tables, where all the gears are made, and if you want to turn the tables, you can. All right, so under the weather. Let me just find this.
I thought you were gonna pull out Two-Faced Tabby there for a second, but I guess not.
Nope. Tabitha learned her lesson. Okay,
yeah, she did.
She's a one-facer now.
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah, they exercised her demons.
The second face came off. So I don't think any of us have like a solid.
They exercised her demons, like they took them out on a little run. Hey, you guys need a little walk today. You're looking a little down. Why don't you go exercise your demons,
honey? You're feeling a little under the weather.
My demons are under the weather. Oh my gosh.
Okay. All right. So. I don't think anyone's in the running for this. Let's just get into it.
Except for the demon.
That's right.
He's running.
So to feel unwell, in context, I couldn't make it into work yesterday as I was a little under the weather. Under the weather is an expression with seafaring origins.
Of course.
Seasickness was a major problem in the early days of sailing before medication was invented to combat it. The ailment was particularly prevalent in times of rough seas and bad weather when the ship would move about more violently. The greatest sway on a ship is on the deck, and the most stable place is underneath near the keel. If a sailor became ill, he was sent down below to recover, under the deck and under the weather.
Hey. This adds to that. This says the sailor was sent below docks to the most stable part, which was under the weather rail.
Oh, okay. So
they were feeling they'd go under the weather rail.
It doesn't even have to do with the weather. It's a weather rail, or what is the weather rail?
We'll find out what a weather rail is.
Hey Siri, what is a weather rail? It's currently clear in 52 in Rail India. Nope. That's not what I wanted. Okay.
Maybe that's where they had their little instrument set up to tell them what the weather was going to be doing, or
maybe.
I don't know. The weather rail.
I can't find what a weather rail is. I can find what a taff rail is, and a handrail, and I don't know.
A clue. A clue might be out there on barnesandnoble.com if you're looking for an alternative to Amazon. Sailing, A Life on the Weather Rail. The first-hand narrative of a professional life dedicated to sail making and racing sailing. The narrative is presented... Okay.
Well,
weather rail, it's something to do with ships.
Yeah.
And they'd go underneath that. I mean, either way, they're going under...
I think it still has to do with weather, though.
It could be, if it weren't sailors, it would be like they went into their basement during a tornado or something. Get out, get under something, get away from the weather. But they're feeling sick. You got something?
I got something. Jeez, there's a lot of sailing terms, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so
why don't you
weather rail, the boat rail on the upwind side of the boat, the higher rail.
Wow.
So it's a part of the boat, which is probably named for, I don't know, but
it is connected to weather. I mean, they got sick because of maybe.
Sure, yeah. And so they would tell them, go under the deck, under the weather rail, and feel better.
Yep.
Interesting. So it's a physical under something, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's sailing, not aviation. So I was kind of close. Am I right?
I mean, you had to do something that moves. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very good. Wow.
Good.
Something that you steer.
Sure.
Wow.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm steering this conversation back to where it belongs.
You're navigating it to safer waters.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Yeah. It's good.
Well,
that was a gem. I mean, it was not what you would expect. It was. It went from being literally high above the clouds, is what we thought, to below deck on a ship at sea.
Polar opposites.
These are the kind of twists and turns that you're going to find on this podcast. You're not. It's not just going to give you the easy way out.
It's not daisies and gumdrops.
Or
gumballs,
like
chewed
you
up
said
on
at
the
the
side
beginning.
of a plate.
Yeah.
Like you said at the beginning of all of us land creatures.
Yeah.
All those under the sea aren't experiencing weather.
Under the sea.
Correct.
Okay.
And so when they go under the boat, usually the boat's that bottom part technically is submerged.
Sure.
So you are completely out of the weather.
And you know what's probably...
But if you're down there, you should be happy as a clam.
What's on the outside of that boat
are
is
barnacles and clams.
Are they part of the mollusk family too?
I think so.
Only fate will tell.
Let's look up on the next
beautiful
episode.
As a barnacle.
We'll talk about
next idiom. Beautiful as a barnacle.
Beauty's in the eye of the barnacle. When I used to.
Where does that go? Yeah.
I got in a barnacle fist fight once down at the old Muscle Shoals, but hey, who's
do you guys ever listen to the Barnacled Ladies?
Okay.
No.
I played pinochle with a barnacle lady once. With almost smashed her face in with my brass knuckles. Anyway, that was a barnacle burner if I've ever heard one.
This is all them. I'm not.
Just say something so
I can't step it. Thanks for joining us. And if you're looking for some tables, visit Timothy's Tables now with an online shop.
Boy, Timmy's really modernized since our last episode.
He has a website. Wow. Old.
He is
timeless Timmy, as they call him.
He's
carrying on the business.
The times. Well, thank you again, fearless adventurers, voyagers, seafarers. If you're looking for a jolly old time on the deck with the mates, that's
the
what
Jolly
we offer.
Roger.
That's right. But if you're also looking for a bare knuckle, white knuckle ride on the seas of knowledge, that's also what we offer too.
Yeah.
So ship up and shape out. Let's ride.
To the sunset, boys. To the sunset.
Let's sail.
I hope I pressed record.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't.
Okay, stop. I did it. Yeah.
I heard it say that.
Yeah.